A clean chain is a happy chain. Not only that, it'll work better, it will last longer, and it will be more efficient. So coming up is my guide to the ultimate chain cleaning process. There are loads of different ways to clean your chain, but this method involves using a heated ultrasonic tank and gives the results which I think mean you have the cleanest and shiniest chain possible. The tank like this is supplied by Muc-Off in part of their ultrasonic cleaning and optimization bundle, but there are lots of different versions out there. Some of them heat the cleaning fluid inside, some of them don't. This one does. So the first step to cleaning your chain, the ultimate way, is to remove your chain from your bike. Now I've already done that, and fortunately enough for me, my chain had a quick link fitted to it. So you can just use some quick link pliers like this to remove it off your bike. These ones are in fact called the MLP 1.2. If your chain doesn't have a quick link fitted to it, then you're going to need to use a chain tool to drive out one of the pins or rivets that hold your chain together. And then afterwards, you can go ahead and fit a quick link to it. This chain tool is called the CT 3.3. Fantastic. There are a few other components that you're going to need to complete the process. So I've got some gloves here to help keep my hands clean. We've got some cloths, a new one and an old one, a handy tray that we can put our chain on to allow it to dry, and a little brush to help us scrub some of the extra grit and grime off. In addition to that, we've got our ultrasonic tank, some cleaning fluid, and a selection of chain lubes which we could use when we get to the process of that later on. Before we can go ahead and put our chain into the ultrasonic cleaner, we're going to first need to fill it up with the chain cleaning fluid or the degreaser, whichever you choose to use. Now this one, it's recommended to set the cleaning tank to a temperature of 30 degrees C. So I've already filled that up and set the temperature so that that's ready to go. Once that's had a chance to heat up, we can then go ahead and carefully submerge our chain into the cleaning fluid. This is the point when you probably want to use your gloves to make sure you don't get any of it over your hand. And then you can submerge your chain fully in there and then leave the tank to work its magic when we get to the next step of the process. Now my chain is already relatively clean because I washed it not that long ago, and since then I've only ridden for an hour and a half. But if your chain is filthy dirty, I would recommend using an old cloth or a rag to wipe off the loose grit and the grime. That way it makes the tank's job a little bit easier. So I've fully submerged my chain into the tank and set the timer going. Don't know if you can quite see that, but it's counting down anyway. Now I've set it for 10 minutes because, as I said, my chain isn't filthy dirty. But after 10 minutes, I can take it out, agitate the degreaser and cleaner any more if I need to, and then set the chain back in the tank, but maybe have it flipped the other way over. Now, the advantage of using the ultrasonic tank is that those ultrasonic waves really work their way through the degreaser and cleaning fluid and drive it in between all the links, pins and the rollers. That way it's helping to evacuate the remaining oil and grease, and it gives a far deeper clean to areas that you wouldn't normally be able to reach if you were just cleaning your chain on your bike, for example. Now, while this is working its magic, the chain is also getting up to the temperature of the tank itself, which is then enabling the cleaning fluid to filter and get in between all the little nooks and crannies and clean even further still. So all I need to do for now is just sit here and patiently wait. Oh, one more thing, you could also add the quick links into the ultrasonic tank if you wanted to do that, or maybe while you wait like I am now, you could just pick them up and start cleaning them yourself. Might as well give myself a job. Oh, right, timer up. So now that the ultrasonic tank has worked its magic for that period of time which I set it to, next step of the process is to carefully remove the chain from the ultrasonic tank, allow as much of that cleaning fluid to drip off the chain and back into the tank. But be mindful, as you are removing your chain, it will be hot, not to the point of running the risk of burning your hands, but you just need to be mindful of it. Once a lot of that cleaning fluid has dripped off of the chain and back into the tank, start to wipe the chain off. So once we've wiped and got a lot of that excess cleaning fluid off, we've got two options next. First option is we use a quick drying degreaser, which we can blast the cleaning fluid out, and then we'll be left with a dry chain that we can just wipe off and remove as much of that moisture as possible. Or the other option is we take our tank and run it under some warm water to wash all that cleaning fluid out. Now, this cleaning fluid is water soluble and it is readily biodegradable, so you should be okay to wash it off in the sink. If you do that, you do obviously need to make sure you get all of that moisture and cleaning fluid out of all the links and the pins and the rollers. You can do so by using a clean cloth and wiping it very thoroughly. A good idea or good practice is to maybe leave the chain in a warm oven or next to a heater for a little bit of time to make sure there's no moisture in there whatsoever. And then at that stage, you've got a perfectly clean and shiny chain which is ready to be lubed. And you can tell that it's dried nicely inside because when I shake it like that, you can hear it rattling, which means there's no moisture or lubrication or degreaser left in between the links, the pins and the rollers. So now we could either go ahead and refit this to our bike using our quick links that we've also cleaned, and then we could apply a drop of our favorite chain lube to each individual roller as it's fitted onto the bike. Or the other option, if you want to take lubing your chain to the next level, is we could use Muc-Off's Ultrasonic Lube Tank. It's effectively the same as what we've had for the wash tank, but this one you have the option of filling up with a ludicrous AF chain lube or the hydrodynamic chain lube. And it works on a similar process. It heats the chain up and uses those ultrasonic waves to drive the lubricant into all of the little nooks and crannies in between the links, the pins and the rollers. Whichever method you choose to use is completely up to you. Each one has got its pros and cons and different characteristics. So at this stage, take your pick, decide what you like to do, lubricate your chain, and you should be ready to go. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you've got any thoughts on using ultrasonic tanks or whether you've even used them to clean your own chain in the past, please let me know in the comments section down below. And for more maintenance videos and bike tech videos like this, subscribe to GCN Tech for all things bike tech.